Hello and welcome to another episode of Garden to Table with Rose, and I am Rose. I am gardening in Zone 6A, Kalamazoo, Michigan, and I am doing a hopefully short front yard tour. I know it's probably time for me to do the back again, but some things have changed up here and that are finally blooming, so I wanted to capture those before they go away. So let me start in this corner. The window boxes are dying off. I had a dark sweet potato vine in both of those, and it bit the dust. We had some really cool nights here this past week where it was like 50 at night, and they just did not like that cool weather, and they just kind of wilted up the next day, and that was that. So I've pulled them out, and I don't know what I'm going to do with these in the fall. There are a couple of evergreens and little ones in both of those, and I will leave those in there. And then I don't know, around here the only thing I really see in the fall planted are mums, because it's, Michigan, it's cold. So, and I've never been able to grow mums very well, so we'll have to see what I put in there after those are done. So my little containers on the porch, it's getting cool, so a lot of the nights, and so things are slowly dying off, and I've been pulling out annuals as they kind of peter out, and I've been cutting back perennials, and so it's a little more sparse, the landscape up here. My goal for this front yard is to make it primarily a perennial garden. I have so much going on. I grow a lot of different things that require a lot of work and different schedules of doing things, and so I really don't have the time to be up here in the front working regularly. Weeding and stuff is fine, but when you plant annuals, it's a whole different animal in terms of growing seedlings and fertilizing and all that. So I really want to turn this all into mostly pretty much a perennial garden up here. I ordered some more hydrangeas. I love hydrangeas, but I ordered some that I'm going to put in pots. And on this front porch, these two pots, I think I will replace the annuals there with these hydrangeas, so that again I have a perennial garden and they bloom on their own and I don't have to really worry about it. So this front is going to be probably less color next year and more texture and shades of green and all that good stuff. But anywho, so I've started cleaning out some of the pots and moving things around, getting prepared for cool weather to come. Petunias are still going strong, as well as there's a coleus hiding behind it. Everything here is lush, and I got some more lilies that have bloomed. I had a bunch of them bloom, and that was that. And now these are they're beautiful. They have like these little spikes, white little spikes on the inside of the petals. So they're unique. That's obviously a later blooming. Sorry, there's a car. It's a later blooming variety, but yeah. So the lamb's ear is doing well. Look at this hydrangea. I love it. This is called the moon rock hydrangea. Look how big that is compared to my hand. Let's see. But it's huge, and the stems are very strong, as you can see. And this was planted as a little, 4-inch pot just this season, and so that's a really good variety in terms of having upright stems and big beautiful panicle heads. See over here my little liatris, spigata, whatever these monkey grasses, whatever these are, they are laying down. The bees are always all over these, and as you can see, they're cleaning them off, because once they finish with them, they go from having the white to this kind of a brown. So those are perennials. They will all stay. I still have some daisies popping up. I had to cut back this zinnia because it was growing like crazy, and I really like the lime green color of those flowers. But beneath it is a hydrangea, and so you can see right there. I couldn't tell you right now what variety of hydrangea that is, but it was kind of covering it up. It wasn't getting any real sun, so I had to cut that back. More rosemary, which Oh my god, this rosemary is so beautiful. I cannot believe these two have bounced back from being indoors, stored over the winter, and looking half dead. They're just beautiful. I love rosemary plants. But anyway, I transplanted some more herbs up here because I was breaking down all my green stalks that I have in the back, and I had a lot of herbs in those. So there's some variegated sage, and I bought some thyme up here. There's a clump of that down there somewhere, and one other thing. I don't know if it was oregano or might have been more sage. But yeah, and then over here I've added, because they were on clearance at Home Depot, I added some white coneflowers, which are beautiful. They look like daisies kind of, but those should get pretty tall. But yeah, I just put those in this past week, and that is all that's going on over here. Everything else is finished up. I believe this is perennial. I believe this is yarrow or something to that effect, which comes back. I do like yarrow quite a bit, and I will use that for color because it comes in multiple colors. The shrubs here are done blooming. My spirea with the pink blooms. Onions are going strong in that bed up there. I moved my poor little climbing hydrangea. I couldn't bear to throw it out. I actually stuck it in here with the onions, hoping it might decide to make a comeback, but that's not happening. Okay, over here. These pots. Again, I'm just waiting for all these annuals to finish up. You can see that the petunias are going strong. I can't remember what kind this was. This probably was proven winners, like their special kind of petunia that just keeps going and going. But they're getting leggy, so I'm waiting on those to finish up. And my elderberries, some of them have little green berries on them, which the birds will enjoy because it's not enough for me to worry about trying to cover it and harvest it. So, and I don't need any elderberries right now, so I will let the birds have those, and those pots will go back in the backyard soon. Now this is the little section that I just dug up in the last video. I haven't planted. I don't have, obviously, the tulips planted because they haven't arrived yet, but I moved my little bird bath over here because the other side's getting crowded now. But I haven't planted. I have 8 rose bushes here. One, I think is dead, so I need to replace that one next spring. But in between are, well, let me start on the end. Flanking each end is a fluffy, I think it's called fluffy arborvitae. It's a bright yellow greenish one, chartreuse, and it should stay that color. But and they're not very tall. They don't get very tall, or they grow very slowly, so you can keep them under control. But those are proven winners. And then let me go on the other side. This strip here is where the tulips are going to be. This strip. So I have 500 tulips that will all be planted there. It's going to be a beautiful show. Anywho, Pinky Winky is that one. I actually labeled these pretty well. I put these wee whites in the front. There are 3 of those. So they're very tiny hydrangeas. That's why they're called wee white, but proven winners. All of these are proven winners, I believe. Gatsby Star is that one. And then Gatsby Moon is that one. Now the Gatsbys get pretty tall, 8 to 10 feet or something. So this is going to be like a hedge, is what I'm thinking. And then this one, why does this one not have a... Oh, it has a little tag. I must have ran out of the metal ones. There's another Pinky Winky. So there's 2 Pinky Winkies. I'm trying to make it somewhat uniform. Okay, over here, look at these mini roses. They are gotten pretty big, and they were the smallest little things. I thought they had died off, actually, and now they've bounced back, and that one's so pretty. But anyway, I got more of these stalky liatris, whatever it's called, in here. And my little hydrangea tree over in there is doing pretty well. It's a tree hydrangea, a PG, I believe. And then lots of coleus in here, which will have to come out because that's an annual. There's a hydrangea in here. No, wait a minute, what is it? Mock orange. So that's going to get big, and that'll replace all this coleus, which a lot of things, annuals are here to fill in because these are all new beds. So to fill it in for the season so it looks lush. I still love this yew. Love it. It's still, you know, the needles are a little bit firmer. No, actually the needles are about the same. I would say the stems are getting a little bit firmer, but the needles are still soft. The butterfly bush over here is doing well. There's some hyssop anise in the purple ones that are growing there, which are really pretty. The bees like those too, and the butterflies. There's a hydrangea in the middle of there. And which one is it? Invincible Lace is that one. Oh, look, it has a little bitty pink bud starting to come on it. Okay. And then over here, this bugleweed, I think I'm calling it the right thing. Bugleweed is doing well. It's a cooler weather thing that had kind of bloomed in the early spring, and then it looked like it was dead. Now it's bounced back and it's lush and green and very pretty. So that's what's going on in this strip. And then here I have a viburnum snowball bush and another hydrangea, and I'm not sure which one this is, but it's probably one that gets pretty big because I put it out there on the edge. Alright, so all my hydrangeas here, the bobos, these two are oak leaves, probably Gatsby something, Gatsby Gal and Gatsby something else. I can't remember the specific names. And then in the back I have the prime. It's like the little prime. Is it called little? I don't know what it's called, but it's a smaller version of the Limelight Prime, which the Limelight Prime is a smaller version of the Limelight from Proven Winners. So it's the next one down, Little Lime, I think it's called. And then the Bobo, which is, the Bobos did not do well in the sun, even though it said they like sun. There's a little bit of shade up here. It looks like morning shade here with the fence, but they burnt easily. Or maybe it's because they're new. It's their first year. So look at these. These are really starting to get fluffy and beautiful. And these, I believe, are, one's an apricot and one's a necticot, I do believe. And then those are persimmons there. That's just a cherry blossom tree. Over here, everything's bloomed out, but it still is looking lush and green. Oh, there's the rosemary. I just transplanted that rosemary, so let's see how big that one gets next summer. It's very small now, but these little rose bushes are done blooming. These are the Oh So Easy, I think it's called, Paprika. This was a little, I think, thyme plant that I transplanted. We'll see if that does well. This variegated sage, it looks like it's not going to make it, but we'll see. They've surprised me. More hyssop anise. This is one thing I wanted to show you. This is why I wanted to do this, because this has just started blooming. Crocosmia Giant Lucifer. Look at that. Oh my. It's like a red blossom with an orange base, and it's this big stalky thing. So I have like 4 clumps of similar plants. There might be different varieties, and there's a clump in there, but that's the only one that has started blooming. There's a hydrangea behind it that's doing pretty well. I just planted a 9 bark. I think it's summer wine. You probably can't see it because of the shadow, but it's tiny. But that's a Proven Winners. I think it's summer wine. And I wanted to show you the Rose of Sharon tree. Now, I'm surprised that this thing bloomed this year. I didn't think it was going to do anything but get taller. It's supposed to be red flowers, but what I'm seeing here is purple. I don't know if you can see this. This one bloom that's, ooh, there's an ant on it. This one bloom, it's looking purple to me. I don't know. Now the buds look red on the other ones. Like the buds actually do look red. But I don't know if they're going to bloom red or purple. We'll see. It was supposed to be red, but I'm not taking it out. It's fine. It's pretty. I like it. More hydrangeas. The pufferfish hydrangeas I ended up putting over here. There's one there. And then the other one is here. So those are the pufferfish hydrangea, which give you these little airy white blooms. Coral bells in here. Coleus, which you've seen. I planted lots of yarrow, which you've seen. I got these on clearance as well from Home Depot. This is some Salvia, and it's like a purple. Most of them seem to be a bluish purple, but it's a purple variety. So I got 3 of those that I put in between the yarrows. This hollyhock is blooming, and I have a hard time growing hollyhocks. They just they're just a mess for me. They get some kind of fungus or something on the leaves usually, no matter what I try to do. So, but this one is blooming. Let me see if I can get a picture of the bloom. So it's a pretty creamy, it's more like an apricot color. And then I have another one back there that has not bloomed, and I think that was black hollyhock or something. I can't quite recall. And as you can see, there's some mini roses that, again, most of them I thought had died because they were these tiny little 3-inch pots, if that, and they bounced back, so I'm happy with that. Random daisy made it over here. Random Shasta daisy. Hellebores are thrown in there throughout. Barberries, I have 4 barberries, 2 of those chartreuse, bright yellow ones, and then 2 that are going to be more of a pink or red, I think it is. Yeah, and then I moved some of the pots over here just so they can get a little sun. Now that it's getting cooler and the days are getting shorter, and they're almost on their last leg. There are some peppers. There's pepper plants in each one of those pots, and I'm waiting on the peppers to finish maturing so I can harvest those. Same stuff over here, nothing new. I just moved some pots around. This is my red twig dogwood. I'm just doing well. Those bright yellow, I can't remember what they're called, but it's a shrub that I planted recently. 3 of those that I got on clearance. And I love the color. It'll be just, I don't think they flower, but it'll be this big mass of limey green, which I think is nice. There's a hydrangea back there, tree hydrangea. And pots. The only pots I plan to have up here next year will really be my just my topiaries. I'm getting rid of the pots. I really did those just to fill in space and add some color with flowering things. But I don't think I'll do that next year because I have enough. It's full. This is a garden dahlia, I believe, and so is this one. And then my fruit trees over there are doing well as well. I still have the peaches on the trees. They are not ripe yet, but they are red or orangish red, the color they're supposed to be there. So they're on their way. And that's all that's going on up here. So hopefully this video was short enough, but thank you for viewing it, and I will see you next time, definitely with a backyard tour. All right. Bye-bye.